When you hear Back in Black, you know what time it is. It's time for the Bearcat Den, live from Pasquale's Pizza here in Coleman, Alabama, Highway 31. Hello again, everybody. I'm Tommy Warhurst. As I said, welcome in to the Bearcat Den here at Pasquale's Pizza. Got a great night of guests lined up here tonight. Coach Danny Stiff's on his way here to the Bearcat Den. We've got players coming in. There are parents and fans on the inside. And tonight, Pasquale's Pizza has the buffet for you tonight here as we kick off week number 2 of the Bearcat Den here live from Pasquale's Pizza. We're kind of bringing back a tradition here with the Bearcat Den. Years ago, the Coleman Bearcats would have their pregame meals here on Thursday night before Friday night football games. We've kind of brought that tradition back. We'll have to do it on a Wednesday night now because of conflicts here at Pasquale's on Thursday. So Wednesday night is when we're here for the Bearcat Den live at Pasquale's Pizza. Special thanks tonight to Tisha Brewer of Tisha Brewer State Farm. She is paying for the meals for all the Bearcat players and coaches tonight. So thank you to Tisha Brewer State Farm. If you'd like to step up and pay for meals for your Bearcat players and coaches, we would welcome you to do that. You can contact me on Facebook. That's Tommy Warhurst. Just look me up, message me there on Facebook, or swing by and see Taylor Buckley, the general manager here at Pasquale's Pizza. We'll get you set up in the rotation so that you can give back to your local community as well and pay for meals on Wednesday night in the Bearcat Den here for the players and coaches of Coleman High School in the Bearcat Den here at Pasquale's Pizza. Coming back, we'll visit with Coleman head coach Danny Stiff. We'll kind of recap the Bob Jones game, get the good, the bad, and the ugly from Coach Stiff, and look forward to this week's home game with the Mortimer Jordan Blue Devils when we return here on the Bearcats Den live from Pasquale's Pizza in Coleman.
Coleman Community Radio, powered by Coleman's Live 95, is your home for Friday Night Live. Nobody covers more high school football in Coleman County than Coleman Community Radio, powered by Coleman's Live 95. Go to your favorite app store and download the Coleman's Live 95.5 app. Then select the channel of the game you want to hear. This week, hear Fairview at Springville, or the mega broadcast of Good Hope at Westport on the Good Hope Raiders Sports Network and the West Point Warriors Sports Network. Visit live95coleman.com for more information on channel assignments, this week's schedule, and to grab our mobile app. Coleman County High School Football on Coleman's own Live 95. Friday Night Live is brought to you in part by Cyber Broadband, Plus One Heating and Air, Cleaning and More Coleman, Josh Phillips of Impact Mortgage Group, Merchants Bank, Coleman Electric Co-op, Tisha Brewer of State Farm, Coleman Savings Bank, Adam Aker of Mitch Smith Chevrolet, Coleman Appliance Repair, Odin's Auto Glass, Lister Hill Credit Union, 212 Insurance, H&S Appliance, Guthrie's Automotive, Denton Seamless Gutters, Hagamore Heating and Air, and the Warhurst Team Realtors at Hagamore Realty Group. Friday Night Live on the Coleman County Sports Network, powered by Coleman's Live 95. In today's world, broadband internet is an absolute necessity. Unfortunately, the large cable and phone companies only provide broadband internet where it's profitable for them. For the rest of us, there's Cyber Broadband. Providing internet service since 2004, Cyber utilizes a small radio antenna to deliver broadband where cable and DSL don't go. You can join the 21st century today with Cyber Broadband, supporting streaming, VPN access, and everything else you've been wanting to do with that slow internet connection. It's Cyber Broadband for the win. They can be found online at cyberbroadband.net or look them up on Facebook.
At Plus One Heating and Air, we believe in more than just fixing your HVAC system. Our team of skilled technicians is dedicated to providing top-notch service with a smile. Whether it's installation, repairs, or maintenance, you can trust Plus One Heating and Air to get the job done right the first time.
I've never experienced service like this before. Plus One Heating and Air Air not only fixed my heating system promptly, they also ensured everything was running smoothly. They truly care about their customers.
So when you're in need of heating and air services, remember the company that's willing to walk that extra mile for you. Plus One Heating and Air, where trust meets acceptance.
And live from Pasquale's Pizza here on Coleman's Live 95. Going to be a Wednesday night tradition all football season long from 5:30 until 6:30. We'll be here at Pasquale's Pizza in the Bearcat Den, letting you, the fans, come meet and hang out with players and coaches and parents and fans here as we take a look back at last week's football game for the Bearcats and we look ahead to the game coming up. I'm joined now by Coleman head coach Danny Stiff. Coach, thanks for being back in the Bearcat Den, sir.
Thanks for having me, man.
How was practice this afternoon?
It was hot. It was hot out there. It feels a lot better under this air conditioned out here. So, yeah, it was a good practice. It was hot out there, so they kind of got to push through. It was a little cooler last week.
Yeah.
So they kind of had to readjust back to the heat. We got used to it for a while, and then, it creeps back up on you here. So it was a good practice.
Let's take a look back briefly. Go back and look at last Thursday night up at Madison at Bob Jones. We knew we were stepping up in a classification and playing a bigger school, probably have some more athletes there on both sides of the ball. They kind of put it to us up there. Talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly from last week.
Yeah. We didn't play very well at all. I was extremely disappointed in how we played. I thought that they had some great athletes, but we made it easy for them in a lot of places on offense and defense. So, when you look at it offensively, we ran the ball great all night long. And then we would have a penalty or a negative play or, just something that would go wrong to put us back behind the sticks. And now we have to throw the ball. And when you're playing big, long pass rushers like they've got, you put yourself backed into a corner. From a passing standpoint, because it's hard to get the ball off when they got big, long pass rushers. It can really get off and disrupt the quarterback. So putting ourselves in that situation didn't hurt, and it wasn't anything they were doing. It was us putting ourselves in that situation. So that was a major problem on offense, but I did think we ran the ball very well all night, and we just didn't have an opportunity. We weren't in the right down distances to keep running the ball. And then, defensively, we played you can ask the guys. I didn't think we played very well at all. I mean, we gave up 507 yards of offense, and if you look at it, I broke it down, and we gave them 363 of those yards. So we gave them 72% of their offense was given to them. And when you play a team like that with that athletes, you can't give them anything. And we had some bad angles on tackles. We had just some bust that were uncharacteristics of things that we don't normally mess up. In a few key spots, and that's how a game like that gets out of hand when you play a team like that. So overall, I was very disappointed in how we played. I think that's kind of been what I've been rallying these guys with all week. I think they're disappointed too, you're just ready to get back there and get back on the field and kind of redeem yourself in your own eyes and in everybody else's eyes too.
It seemed like it was a night of big plays for Bob Jones.
Yeah.
Had you eliminated some of those big plays, 90-yard runs, I think there were 2 90-yard touchdown runs, a 40-yard touchdown run or so. If we could have eliminated those, it might have been a different outcome too.
Yeah, well, we're sitting there, the first play of the game on offense, we take an angle on the guy. The corner missed the tackle, but he turned the guy back inside, which is a good thing. And then we over-pursued it on defense. So everybody overran like he was going to go to the outside instead of attacking the inside leverage of the guy. We had one D lineman kind of that wasn't running as fast as he could, or he would have taken an angle at it. So what should have been a 5-yard play at best, I give him 5 yards there, turned into like a 90-yard play. So those are huge mistakes. And then the thing, you can't let stuff like that just compound on itself and keep putting yourself in those situations and keep letting it compound and letting it get out of hand where then everybody's trying to press, and then somebody's trying to do somebody else's job and not doing their job, and then that's how the other big plays happen. Communication needs to be better. Our angles and tackles need to be better. Our effort needs to be better. Our understanding of what they're doing and what we're doing needs to be better. And that all starts with me and the rest of the coaching staff, and we pass it down. And get them in the right places to make those plays, and that's what we've been harping on all week.
Talk about the positives. I know there may have been some negatives that that happened to us in a loss like that, but there had to be some positives for some individuals that you can take and build on for this week.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, if you look, like I said, the run game was there all night. It was there. We just had to stay in down and distances to keep running the ball. And when we threw the ball, I think we threw the ball 28 times, and there was about 5 pass plays that I counted that people weren't wide open on. There's somebody wide open on every on 23 passes. So we just got to execute better. I thought it was there from a play calling standpoint. I thought Coach Gleaton did a good job getting people open, and in the run game, we just got to do a better job executing and coaching it throughout the week, and helping these guys see it better and understand what we're trying to do. So I thought that was very positive. It didn't feel positive, but you go back and you watch the tape and you see it's almost sickening when you see people that open, and you see how well you're running the ball, and you're that close from getting it there. So that's definitely something we would take. And then, defensively, I thought some guys played well that hadn't played a lot of football. I was probably more disappointed in guys that had played more football that should know better on some things that didn't. But it's the first game, and it should always be your worst game. You always get a lot better. It's a coaching cliche, but it's true. You get better from week 1 to week 2 is usually your biggest improvement of the year. So hopefully that's the case for us.
And you knew that going in. You could have scheduled a 4A or a 5A team for week 1 to tune up, but no, you didn't. Yeah. You stepped up and played a 7A football team wanting to challenge your team.
Yeah, that's what I talked about last week. I wanted to know who we were as a team, where we were, and what we needed to work on. A team like that's going to let you know exactly where your deficiencies are. So that's what I wanted out of the game, but that's not what I wanted out of the game. Not the result we had. I did want the challenge. But again, it's one of those things I've said it all offseason. We've got to make teams beat us and not beat ourselves. And, we beat ourselves on a lot of plays in that game. And, it's there. I know these guys can do it. We just got to get it out of them and be more consistent where, we're doing things the right way and we're executing the right way. And we're going to be a good football team. But if we don't, then, you see what happens when you don't do it that way on Thursday night.
The guys never gave up toward the end of the game. We had a 55-yard drive on just 4 plays. Yeah. Preston was able to connect with Ogstad on a 43-yard touchdown pass. Talk about the no quit of your Cats.
Yeah, and I think, these guys go. There's not give up in them. It's more I was kind of getting after them late in the game because I could tell they were frustrated by the results of the moment, and it was affecting how they were playing even in the fourth quarter. So I kind of started getting after them, saying like, hey, we're still playing. Like we still got to go. There's still time on the board. The clock's still running. So we're going to play the way we do. And, I just really wanted to get them, sometimes it's hard when you're getting beat like that in a game. And you're sitting there looking at the scoreboard and the other team maybe talking trash to you or whatever, and you kind of got to just take it. That's hard, and I hope it hurts. That's what I was telling these guys. It should hurt. If it doesn't hurt, you don't need to be here. So you just kind of got to take your lump there, and and then watch the film. Sunday's usually bad too because you got to come in and watch the thing all over again. I think I watched the game 5 times. We had so much time off between this week and last week that I probably watched it 5 times just Friday, looking at every little thing. So hopefully that they've taken that in. You never really know with these guys until you get back out on the field.
Yeah.
But I think, from a coach's and a player standpoint, I think we understand. I think we're all a little embarrassed, to be honest with you.
Speaking of how they bounce back from that, how was practice this week coming back on Monday and yesterday from the loss?
Yeah, I thought, we had a really good practice on Monday. Tuesday it got real hot out there, and it seemed worse to me than it was when I went back and watched the film. It was actually a pretty good practice when I watched the tape. But it got a little sloppy, probably in between those camera shots, you got guys not moving around as fast as you really want them to. So I got after them a little bit after practice yesterday. Then I think today we handled the heat much better. We were popping around a little bit. We threw some new stuff on them, and they were handling it really well. I thought today was a really good day, and so hopefully this keeps building up to Friday.
And especially having Mortimer Jordan come in this week, we've got some stuff to prove to them after last year too. So maybe that'll be good this week.
Yeah, that one stung last year. It's not one that I'll soon forget. So I told them we were I was embarrassed by last year how we played. We should have won this game. There was disappointment there. And then, the disappointment of last week, those two things kind of compound on each other. And you're looking to make up for last year of what happened and make up for that loss and also make up for last week. So there should be plenty of motivation looking to this week. And I hope the guys feel it the same way I do, because it's been hard for me to sleep this week.
Yeah.
You wake up in the middle of the night staring, wondering what you can do more. And I always look inward. So it's always, what can I do to kind of get these guys going? So, I'm the first one to blame on everything. And I take full credit for it. And I'm just looking to get it turned back around. I really just want to get back out there and get some redemption, I guess you would say.
Friday night is coming. We are in the Bearcat Den. This afternoon, we'll be here until 6:30 at Pasquale's Pizza on Highway 31 in Coleman. We're kind of bringing back a tradition here in Coleman. This was the place where the Coleman Bearcats had their pregame meals years ago. We've kind of brought back that tradition. We're bringing it to you live here on Coleman's Live 95 and on Coleman's Live 95 Facebook page. So hello to all of you that are watching us on Facebook. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Cooper Ogstad and J.C. Patterson, along with Coach Danny Stiff here. We're in the Bearcat Den at Pasquale's Pizza, live here on Highway 31 on Coleman's Live 95. Back in a moment.
We have one of the coolest places right here in Coleman. It's Cleaning and More Coleman on County Road 437. Cleaning and More Coleman has reliable and professional residential and commercial cleaning services tailored to your needs. And I know because we use Cleaning and More Coleman at the Warhurst Team Realtors for our buyers and sellers. Cleaning and More Coleman is more than just cleaning supplies. They have janitorial supplies like trash can liners of all sizes, cleaning supplies, mops, brooms, paper towels, they have it all. Plus concession stand and restaurant supplies like cups, cutleries, plates, to-go containers, bags, straws, nacho trays, even popcorn bags. Cleaning and More Coleman has it all. Need climate control storage? How about 10 by 10, 10 by 15, and 10 by 20 units? And they even have the U-Haul trucks to carry your stuff. You can check them out at cleaningandmorecoleman.com. You can get info at cleaningandmorecoleman.com, or the way I like, you can dial them up at 256-736-9944. 256-736-9944. Cleaning and More Coleman, County Road 437, under the big white sign with the U-Hauls.
So I'd been battling depression for quite a while, and I tried different medications, and it would get better, but then they would start to taper off. And I would fall back into those feelings of apathy, worthlessness, and not wanting to do anything. After TMS, I wake up every day energized and ready to take on the day.
We started SoundMind TMS to provide treatments for depression and anxiety that really work. We'd love for you to come to the office for consultation to see if TMS may save your life.
SoundMind TMS, 256-735-9475. Or for more information, you can visit our website, soundmindtms.com.
In the game of mortgages, experience matters. Meet Josh Phillips, a veteran with over 13 years in the mortgage industry. As a leader in the local mortgage community, Josh is more than just a lender. He's a partner who believes in making an impact. At Impact Mortgage Group, they're not just making mortgages, they're making a positive impact on borrowers and our community. You can experience the difference too with Josh Phillips at Impact Mortgage Group.
I'm Josh Phillips of Impact Mortgage Group. You can reach me at 256-338-2920, and I'll show you how my experience can help impact your next home purchase.
In MLS number 338177. Coleman's Live 95.
Whoa, Black Betty, family. All I wanna do. Live 95.
It's awesome.
Welcome back into the Bearcat Den, live from Pasquale's Pizza in Coleman. I'm Tommy Warhurst, alongside Coleman head coach Danny Stiff. Got a couple of special guests I'm going to introduce to you in a moment. I want to take a moment right now and say thank you to Tisha Brewer of Tisha Brewer State Farm. She has sponsored the team and coaches' meals tonight. We kind of overwhelmed the kitchen last week, Coach. They were on about a 45-minute delay for pizza. So this week we said we got to change gears. We've got the buffet on the inside. So if you haven't had dinner yet, you can come by and join us in the Bearcat Den. The buffet is going strong here tonight. Players and coaches, their meals are covered thanks to Tisha Brewer of Tisha Brewer State Farm. We're joined in the Bearcat Den by Cooper Ogstad, tight end for the Bearcats, and J.C. Patterson, who plays on the defensive line. Gentlemen, thanks for stepping in the Bearcat Den.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
First off, JC, I'll talk to you, sir. As a defensive man, last week's defensive performance against Bob Jones couldn't be satisfying. Talk about the effort from the defense last week.
It's a sore subject. You know, I feel like we definitely didn't perform to our standard, and it's something we got to come back this week and we got to ball out. Like, last week was not us at all.
So talk about what's been different this week in preparation and mindset.
I feel like our intensity in practice has changed. We've been way up in intensity. We're going 10 times as hard, and I feel like everybody's a lot more locked in and focused and trying harder for sure.
Cooper, from an offensive standpoint, not quite the night lighting up the scoreboard like I know you guys want to do, catching passes and so forth. Talk a little about the offense last week.
Well, I know we didn't score as much as we need to, but we had some good plays on the offensive end. We just need to capitalize on every drive instead of go 3 and out more than we score, you know. So I would just rather us finish drives instead of just seems like we're just stalling out after a 3 and out, you know, and we just keep repeating that. So we just gotta make sure we get past that first down and just keep rolling from there.
Coach talked about last week from the offensive standpoint. He counted about 5 out of the 28 passes, I believe he said we had, where somebody wasn't open. The rest of the time, somebody was wide open on the field. As an offense, how do you take advantage of those and get Preston to know where you guys are open and get the ball to you?
I would just say he can read. I know he can read. He's rushing himself a little bit, I would say, in the pocket. He even told us he was taking the wrong drops maybe sometimes, or sometimes he just ran out of the pocket when he don't need to. But other than that, I feel confident in him. I know he'll find us. It's just a matter of time.
JC, you think a lot of that was first game jitters, first game of the season? You're in a big place, playing a 7A school. Did that have something to do with it, maybe?
Yes and no. I don't know. I just feel like we came out there and we weren't locked in like we should have been. We weren't mentally there, and I just feel like that was definitely a big part of it. And I don't know. It wasn't us. That's all I got to say about that.
Cooper, talk about this week. It has been hot this week. We kind of got a break last week. We had some cool weather come in. It's been hot this week. Talk about practice and the attitude of your teammates this week.
Well, yeah, it's been definitely hot. We know that we've been sweating a lot, and I know I'd say we've been going definitely harder than we have been before. And even though it's hot, we just push through that, make sure we just get our job done. That's pretty much it.
JC, what about you, sir?
Oh, for sure. We're definitely pushing through this heat and going as hard as we can, making every day count to the best of our abilities.
I've probably yelled more this week than I have
for sure.
in a long time.
For sure.
I'm going to let him not.
Yeah.
You know?
Coach, these are 2 of your leaders. I can remember Cooper from last season, the few games I got the call, and then when I stepped in after Dave passed away to do PA last year, I've seen him offensively. I've seen JC play defensively. Talk about what they bring to your team on each side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, they're both great football players, and they're good teammates too, which I think is important, especially once you get into an older leadership. You know, you get in that role. Cooper has a phenomenal skill set. He's a big dude, and can run. You know, great hands. Kind of moved him to the tight end spot because he is he's probably bigger than most tight ends in most schools, but he's just as athletic as most receivers in most schools.
Yeah.
So it's an easier place to play once you get interior of the offense. It's easier to get him the ball. It's easier to get him involved. It's easier to hide him, so people can't double team him. And we knew losing Wyatt that Cooper was kind of be the guy, and it was about where to put him to get the most out of him. So it creates more mismatches for the defense. You know, you got more safeties and linebackers guarding you than you probably ever have. So that helps, and that'll help, in the long run, just getting him more the ball. I mean, you want to get the ball in your best players' hands. That's what you should do as coaches. So that's what we try to do, and that's why we kind of move him around so much. And then JC was really, he's really the rock of our defensive line last year, which is always going to be the most important position on defense. Like, you want to play better at linebacker, have a good D-line. You want to play better at DB, have a good D-line. So it really starts there, and he's kind of that foundation of that D-line. And he's got the most experience coming back. And, he's got a lot of talent and a lot of skill and plays really strong, plays quick. He's just hard to block. So having a guy like him up front is pretty crucial to what you want to do on defense. And we try to keep him in the right places and move him around a little bit and get him where he can get the best matchups and, move him around enough to make those guys where they can't try to square him up. So, these guys, this being the second week, these two guys coming up here, it shows you what I think about them. They both have been team captains, right? Yeah, both have been team captains already. So, and will continue to be. So, and I think a lot of them, I like them as people. I like them, I like them as players. And, the more guys I have like these two, the better off we'll be.
JC, the biggest takeaway, the biggest lesson you learned from last week that you can carry over to this week?
Sprint to the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was talking about that D-line loafing on the first play, it was JC. Yeah. I didn't call him out by name. But, yeah, it wasn't just him, though. It was a lot of people. And it's almost like it was unconscious, like they didn't realize they were even doing it until you pointed out on film. So, some of that stuff's hard. It's hard to listen to. It's hard to take it in, and I'm sure they took it as personal as I did to the challenge. I wouldn't have challenged these guys so much this week if I didn't think they would respond to it, and I didn't think they could do better. I just go home, hang out with the kids, and we would move on to the next week. Yeah. But that's not who we are. That's not what we are. And I think a little bit once things start going against you in a game, the big thing is we can't let it keep going against us. You can't keep just giving them stuff. You can't keep taking yards away from yourself on offense, and you can't keep giving them yards on defense. Make them earn it, and then see how good you are, and see what they got. But we didn't do that last week, and that's really the most disappointing part to me is like they didn't earn a lot of stuff of what they got. They won it in good fashion, 48-12, whatever the score was. So they, it is what it is on the scoreboard. And like I said, that is what we are as a football team right now. So we're looking to redeem that and kind of swipe the record clean there.
Cooper, kind of the same question to you, sir. Offensively, what do you take learning from last week that you can do better this week?
I would just say we had a lot of penalties on the offensive end, including me. I had a penalty, and I got to fix that for sure. And we got to make sure we can't keep shooting ourselves in the foot. That's all we always do that. Every time we get behind the sticks, we can't finish the drive ever. So we just got to finish the drives.
And it's hard to throw the ball when they know you're throwing the ball.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier when you're running the ball well and you're staying in front of the chains. Once you get behind it and they know you're throwing it, they get into coverages that play the pass game well, and they come after the quarterback. So it makes everything harder.
Yep. We are in the Bearcat Den at Pasqualies Pizza here in Coleman. Still plenty of time for you to come by and join us, hang out with players and coaches, enjoy the buffet here tonight. Thanks to Tisha Brewer of Tisha Brewer State Farm. She has paid for the buffet tonight for the players and coaches. So thank you to Tisha for all you do. We're live on Coleman's Live 95. We're live on Coleman's Live 95 Facebook page as well. The Mortimer Jordan Blue Devils roll into town this coming Friday night. We'll talk to Cooper Ogstad, J.C. Patterson, and Coach Danny Stiff about the Mortimer Jordan Blue Devils when we come back in the Bearcat Den here, live from Pasquale's Pizza on Coleman's Live 95.
In 1952, 7 men at an aluminum plant banded together and started Lister Hill Credit Union with only $5 each. Today, more than 92,000 have joined us, continuing the legacy of supporting themselves and the community through Lister Hill. It's all about we and what we can do together.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tisha Brewer right here in Coleman could switch you over and you could start saving today. Tisha and her team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tisha Brewer, it's easy to switch and save.
I'm Tisha at Tisha Brewer State Farm. We're located behind Cook's Pest Control at 909 Fisher Street. You can reach us at 256-734-4645. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Coleman Electric Cooperative's mission is to make life better in the communities we serve. That starts by providing reliable, affordable electricity, while our Sprout Fiber Internet service delivers blazing fast broadband internet to homes, schools, and businesses. Coleman Electric Cooperative is a proud supporter of student athletes, cheerleaders, and band members who work hard every day to make their families and community proud. Coleman Electric Cooperative and Sprout Fiber Internet, powerful connections, brighter future.
Coleman Community Radio, powered by Coleman's Live 95, is your home for Friday Night Live. Nobody covers more high school football in Coleman County than Coleman Community Radio, powered by Coleman's Live 95. Go to your favorite app store and download the Coleman's Live 95.5 app. Then select the channel of the game you want to hear.
This week, hear Fairview at Springville or the mega broadcast of Good Hope at Westport on the Good Hope Raiders Sports Network and the West Point Warriors Sports Network. Visit live95coleman.com for more information on channel assignments, this week's schedule, and to grab our mobile app.
Coleman County High School Football on Coleman's own Live 95.
Friday Night Live is brought to you in part by Cyber Broadband, Plus One Heating and Air, Cleaning and More Coleman, Josh Phillips of Impact Mortgage Group, Merchants Bank, Coleman Electric Co-op, Tisha Brewer of State Farm, Coleman Savings Bank, Adam Aker of Mitch Smith Chevrolet, Coleman Appliance Repair, Odin's Auto Glass, Lister Hill Credit Union, 212 Insurance, H&S Appliance, Guthrie's Automotive, Denton Seamless Gutters, Hagamore Heating and Air, and the Warhurst Team Realtors at Hagamore Realty Group. Friday Night Live on the Coleman County Sports Network, powered by Coleman's Live 95.
Live 95.5.
Coleman's Independent Radio.
Welcome back into the Bearcat Den, live from Pasquale's Pizza here on Coleman's Live 95 and on Coleman's Live 95 Facebook page. Thanks to all of you who are listening via radio or on our app or watching us on our Facebook channel too. And thanks to all of you who are here at Pasquale's Pizza. We wanted to try to bring back the tradition of Pasquale's and Coleman Bearcat football, and I think we've done that here with the Bearcat Den. We're here each and every Wednesday night from 5:30 until 6:30. Special thanks to Tisha Brewer of Tisha Brewer State Farm. She stepped up and is providing meals for the players and coaches tonight. If you'd like to step up and give back to your Coleman High School Bearcat football team, we would welcome you sponsoring a meal in the coming weeks. You can reach out to me, Tommy Warhurst, on Facebook, and we can set you up here with Taylor Buckley or Savannah, the managers here at Pasquale's Pizza. We're joined in the Bearcat Den by Coleman head coach Danny Stiff, J.C. Patterson, and Cooper Ogstad. Well, the Mortimer Jordan Blue Devils roll into town this week, and I can think back to last year being there at Mortimer Jordan. Coach, I listened back to our pregame interview last year. You were talking about their quarterback and how talented he was and how we had chances to control him. You thought we had a good chance to win the ball game. It just didn't go our way thanks to turnovers.
I'm glad he's gone.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Mortimer Jordan got the best of us last year, 24-20. The quarterback's gone and the coach is gone. They have a brand new coach this year, and Heath Lauderdale. He's been their strength and conditioning coach the last 2 seasons. Before that, he spent 5 years at Susan Moore High School, where he was the 3A Region 7 Coach of the Year 3 different times. Talk about what you've seen for Mortimer Jordan this week.
They're still trying to find themselves too. So they're searching for an identity on offense. They got similar scheme on defense that they had last year, so that's good. There's some carryover there from kind of what they did, probably because he was there on staff. So, when a team's like that and they're on offense and they've had some struggles and they're trying to figure out what they're doing, they can kind of come out and do a bunch of different stuff. They might change from week to week. So the preparation's a little harder in preparing for what you're going to see and kind of knowing, when guys have had the same offense for a few years, you really know what you're going to see. And when they're searching for that, it's even harder to prepare for. But they have some really good players. They got a lot of the guys back from last year that, you just pop on the tape and you see the same guys, the same numbers, that you kind of saw out there last year. So they got a lot of guys back. Like I said, they lost their quarterback and their running back, which were two huge players for them last year. There's plenty of talent there, though. Plenty of talent. And, offensively and defensively, it's going to be a challenge, and they're going to play hard. They're going to be strong. I mean, their head coach is a weight coach, so they're going to be have been hitting it in the weight room. So, I like a challenge like that. Haven't forgotten what happened last year. I felt like it was a game that we played good enough to win, and just probably 2 or 3 plays kept us from winning that game. And that's always stuck with me. That stuck with me since that game last year. It stuck with me in the off season. Haven't forgotten about it when I scheduled them this year. It's one reason why I wanted to. So, we're looking for redemption from last week in Bob Jones and redemption from last year. And, we just want to go out there and get after it.
Of course, the Blue Devils are kind of in the same boat. They lost a game similar fashion to we did. They lost to Leeds last week, 42-20. They're going to be looking to kind of redeem themselves, knowing that they knocked us off last year. JC, talk about practice and preparation defensively this week for Mortimer Jordan.
It's been we've been locked in on it for sure. Like, we've been running through all their schemes, and I feel like we're locked in on it. We're looking good. We've been paying attention and watching a lot of film on them, and I feel like we put that into play and into effect in practice.
It's really hard to know what they're going to throw at you offensively after just one game. But talk about what you've seen on film and what you think they may try to do to you this week.
Seeing a lot of screens. Like, I think that's what they're going to target us with. They're going to target some of our corners, and they're going to target us in the middle some. And
which they should if they watched last week's game.
Yeah.
So we expect it. We expect to be better at it.
Cooper, from an offensive perspective, kind of the same question to you, sir. You know what we were successful doing last year. We put up 20 points down there last year on them. Talk about what you've seen from them defensively this year that may open up some holes for your offense.
Well, I've seen a lot of cover 3, and they drop back into cover 4 a lot too. So I'm just hoping the middle of the field should be wide open for us. And I don't know, just corner routes also. We've been running a lot of those, and just whatever gets us open. I mean, we've been running sticks too. Just, I don't know, just stuff in open space, I guess.
So from the perspective of a tight end, talking about your specific position, where do you think that you can be successful Friday night if Preston can get the time to hit you?
Hopefully in the end zone.
Yeah, hopefully down the field somewhere. But I don't know. Just probably in the middle of the field is what I was thinking, because we've been running a lot of those, just middle of the field. And if he can get, I know he can get it to me. So, yeah.
Coach, kind of without giving away a game plan or so forth, just talk about the week in preparation for Jordan and where we think we can be successful.
Yeah, I mean, I think it always starts with offensive and defensive line. If our offensive line can beat their defensive line, we can have a good night. If our defensive line can beat up their offensive line, we can have a good night. And that makes everything else easier. So that's always a focus to me is the fronts. What are the matchups? Where can we maybe find the worst matchup against their people, whether it's in blitzing or just how we line up in general. And then you want to always make teams. It's kind of a coaching cliche to make teams left-handed, but you really want to make them do what they're not comfortable doing. So 1 week of tape isn't enough to know all that, but we want to try to make them uncomfortable in situations, or maybe in situations they haven't been in, both defensively and offensively, and kind of take away what they do well. And if you take away what they do well and kind of can attack what they don't do well, that's really the goal. So, however that ends up playing out from the X's and O's standpoint, that's really all you're going to do. And the players are going to be a lot more important in how they execute in what we do and how we execute what we're supposed to do than what anybody else does. And that's every game we ever play. So if we can go out and just do what our style of football and execute it the right way, we're going to be fine.
JC, as a defensive leader, knowing what they're going to be throwing at you this week, talk about some of your teammates who you expect to step up and have big nights Friday night.
I'm expecting Ben Conway to step up, Cam Myers, the whole D-line. I mean, I feel like we should all step up and have a great game. I'm expecting Collicott to come back and have a really good week. this week, and I'm just expecting us as a defense as a whole. I feel like we all have to step up this week and show who we really are, because what we put on tape and what we showed people that come view and support us last week, like, I've said it multiple times already, but that just wasn't us, like, at all.
Cooper, I'll pose the same question to you as an offensive leader, sir. Who do you see whose potential hasn't really been reached? I know we've only played one game, but who do you expect to step up offensively this week and turn some heads?
Well, I mean, I would say they've reached their potential. They just need to stop being, like, scared, like, not scared, but, like, nervous, I would say. Preston's just being nervous.
Yeah.
And I know he's good. He's real good.
He's really good.
Yeah. And
I think we all know that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And our O-line. Our O-line was really good last game. And I know they're all leaders themselves. So I know they're gonna step up for sure. And honestly, the whole offense too, because we didn't give enough effort last game, and that wasn't us either. So we just need to make sure we're giving full effort every single play, every single drive, and even the subs in, like the people that sub in, they need to give effort too. So yeah.
So how do we, and let me back up and rephrase what I was going to say. The night of Meet the Bearcats, I heard Coach Gleaton talking about Preston in practice and how excited he was. He said that guy can hit a target in a hole that nobody else can get a ball into. How do we encourage the guy, get his confidence built up and let him know he is the man, play like he's the man?
Yeah, I think reps always help. It's the hardest position to play in any sport anywhere is playing quarterback, and it's hard to really know unless you go out there and do it. So I think just getting out there and being comfortable with what you're seeing, with your offensive line in front of you, it takes a little bit of time, and getting those reps in the game always help. And then coming back and watching the film from mistakes always helps. So and kind of see what was there and wasn't there, or what you were thinking you saw and maybe what really was out there. That always helps. So it's a hard position to play, and it's just tough. So we've seen him do it over and over and over again in practice, day after day, for a while now. So eventually that's just going to click on game day, and everybody's going to see what we've seen from the guy. And that's the moment that I'm going to be really excited about, where everybody sees kind of how good Preston really is.
JC, for about the past year, I've heard this man talk about how the Mortimer Jordan game kind of has eat at him. You guys get to come home to Oliver Woodard Stadium and Mark Britton Field. After that, knowing Jordan's coming to town, talk about what we need from the community, from the fans, from the students, what we need in Oliver Woodard Stadium to make that place give us a true home field advantage.
I got chills just thinking about it. Like, I'm ready to get back at them. I'm ready to get our get back, and I hope everybody comes out and shows support. I want to see everybody there and being loud and being supportive, I mean, that's really all you can ask for from a community. Like, is to have our back through high and low and just help us. We're gonna be good. Like, we're gonna be good. We just gotta figure out some few little things,
Cooper, talk about that from your perspective, sir. When the fans are cheering, the band's playing the fight song, and your fans are behind you. Talk about what that gives to you, because sometimes I think fans don't know. Sometimes I think fans come to football games for a social event, and it's not a social event. If they go to Alabama and Auburn, they're standing up and yelling. They need to be doing the same thing at Oliver Woodard.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I just need them. I need them loud. Yeah, we need them loud and cheering every part of the game. Even if we're having a bad portion of the game, we need that to keep going to fuel us, And especially the band. The band really helps a lot, honestly. A lot of people don't know that, but we really appreciate the band coming every time. Yeah, it's actually it fuels us for sure.
Yeah, our band's real smart too. They know what to play and when to play it, almost. Which I really appreciate.
Yep. We're in the Bearcat Den at Pasquale's Pizza. We'll be here until 6:30 this evening. Still plenty of time for you to come by. They've got the buffet inside tonight. Again, special thanks to Tisha Brewer of Tisha Brewer State Farm. She paid for players and coaches' meals tonight here in the Bearcat Den at Pasquale's Pizza. If you'd like to step up and give back to the Bearcat football program, we'd love to have you step up and sponsor meals here 1 week in the Bearcat Den. We're here each and every Wednesday night from 5:30 until 6:30 at Pasquale's Pizza in the Bearcat Den, live here on Coleman's Live 95 and on Coleman's Live 95.5's Facebook page. JC, real quick, the go-to song that's on your playlist, sir.
Never Scared.
Never Scared.
That's from back in my day.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Headhunters.
Hey, can I ask Cooper? Cooper, you drove in here like Clark Griswold. How are you going to get that kayak out the car?
It's never coming off.
Yeah.
Cooper, same thing to you, sir. What's your go-to song?
Rich Girl.
Rich Girl. Back in the day, it's old school, but back in the day, our song was "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins. I'm getting goosebumps now telling you that was booming in our locker room before games. Thunderstruck from AC/DC.
Yeah,
that's always a good one. I appreciate you gentlemen stepping into Bearcat Den tonight. You hadn't had a chance to eat. I'm going to let you go get the buffet, wear the buffet out. But before you go, I want to hook you up with a couple of Live 95 T-shirts, courtesy of Goatee Screen Printing and Embroidery. Appreciate you guys being in the Bearcat Den. Look forward to calling your names a lot Friday night here as Mona Jordan comes to town. Thank you, gentlemen.
Sir, thank you.
We're in the Bearcat Den, back with more from Coach Danny Stiff when we return here in the Bearcat Den, live from Pasquale's Pizza and Coleman's Live 95.
Hey, Coleman drivers. Are you tired of the hassle and confusion when it comes to buying a car? Well, we've got fantastic news for you. Meet Adam Aker at Mitch Smith Chevrolet in Coleman, your go-to guy for a no-nonsense car buying experience.
Hey, folks. Adam here. You know, buying a car shouldn't be stressful. That's why at Mitch Smith Chevrolet, we pride ourselves on transparency, trust, and there's never any BS at MS.
That's right. Adam Aker and the Mitch Smith Chevrolet team are changing the game.
I live and breathe Coleman, just like you. So when you step into our showroom, you're not just another customer, you're family. Together, we'll find the perfect vehicle to fit your needs and budget. Remember, Adam Aker, Mitch Smith Chevrolet, what's not to love?
Live 95 is brought to you in part by Merchants Bank of Alabama, a division of South Point, now with several locations across the state, but still located in the heart of Coleman County. They are a proud sponsor of Coleman Community Radio on Live 95. Merchants Bank of Alabama, a division of South Point Bank, member FDIC.
Are you ready to make your next move in Coleman? Hi, I'm Tommy.
And I'm Angela. We're not just realtors, we're a family dedicated to helping yours.
We're not just about buying or selling property. We're about building connections within our community.
From local schools to charity events, we're active because we care about Coleman.
When you use us, you're not just getting one realtor, you're getting a team working around the clock for you.
With our experience and expertise, we'll guide you through every step of the process.
We're the Warhurst Team Realtors at Hagamore Realty Group.
We make it happen, you make it home.
Need to be seen? Goatee Screen Printing and Embroidery can get your name and logo seen all over town. Whether it's hats, shirts, jackets, or hoodies, Goatee Screen Printing and Embroidery can hook you up. They also have promotional items like pins, cups, koozies, bags, and more. Does your club, team, or school need a fundraiser? Goatee Screen Printing and Embroidery can set up an online store for you. From concept to completion, Goatees can take care of all your promotional needs. Goatee Screen Printing and Embroidery. For more information, you can visit www.shopgoatees.com. That's GOOTEES. Goatees Screen Printing and Embroidery.
Live 95.5.
I think it's great, man.
Coleman's Live 95.
Beautiful.
Everybody's feeling good here in the Bearcat Den tonight from Pasquale's Pizza. The buffet is in full swing. And special thanks to Tisha Brewer of Tisha Brewer State Farm. She provided tonight's meal for the Coleman Bearcat players and coaches. So special thanks to you, Tisha. One, for giving back to Coleman High School, but two, for all you do for our great community here in Coleman. We're live at the Bearcat Den here on Coleman's Live 95 and on Coleman's Live 95 Facebook page. Thanks to all of you who are joining us. I'm joined by Coleman head coach Danny Stiff. Coach, wrapping up week 2 of the Bearcat Den and wrapping up week 2 of practice. Tomorrow is just kind of a walk-through day in preparation, kind of go through, dot the I's and cross the T's and get ready for Mortimer Jordan.
Yeah, Thursday's always a fun day. You kind of, your last chance to show them, what maybe what we didn't do so well earlier in the week or things we didn't quite understand. So you try to clean some of that up. And then, you get into your specialty stuff. We always work hands team, onside kick, last final plays of a half of a game. of all that stuff. So you go through a lot of your situational stuff and make sure, whole thing about working situations is you want to make sure they're comfortable in that situation, and usually when other teams aren't. So like there's things you don't work on a lot, so you want to make sure you're comfortable and you're aware of the situation and you know the ins and outs of it. And we try to prepare them for that, so they don't have anxiety about the situation. It's more of just whatever the player know how to run the play and do it, and hopefully the other teams are the ones that have anxiety about those situations. So you really try to prepare a little bit of everything, special teams checks, go through and just make sure everybody knows where they are, what they're doing. It's the last kind of cleanup before the game. You got another walkthrough on Friday morning that does a little bit of that, and then you hit it and ready to go. So as a coach, it's kind of your last time to get in what you need to get in, say what you need to say, show them what you need to show them, and then get on with it.
I asked the players kind of their perspective on what they'd like to see or need from the community. Same thing to you, Coach, from a coaching perspective. What does it mean to have a packed, rowdy house at Oliver Woodard Stadium? Oh,
it's 100 times different than it not being. You can feel the support. You can feel, even in, it doesn't matter. If you see the stands filled up and everybody's kind of loud cheering, it has a huge impact on the game, especially the players. Like I said, I don't ever hear anything. I don't ever hear anything what's in my headset, honestly. But the players love it. They love it, and they feed off of it. And especially like the positive energy. Like, you got to understand these are 17, 18-year-old kids. They're going to make mistakes. The referees are going to make mistakes, believe it or not. And when you have a good positive energy about it, it helps pick people up out of kind of that lull. I tell the kids all the time, whether it's offense or defense, if someone's struggling, like, it should be all positive, all encouraging. And I even try to do that on game day. I try not to get somebody, if they're in a bad place, you don't want to put them in a worse place. Yeah. You kind of got to pull them out of it. And I got that from Coach Saban. I would be surprised at how he would treat the defensive backs on game day, because he didn't treat them like that the rest of the week. But on game day, he was very positive with them, supportive, and it wasn't like that the rest of the week. So I think it was part of that mental mindset you have to have. It's another hard position to play, and if things going real negative or people being negative about it, it can really affect you, and fans can be the exact same way. So we just need a good positive support. They earn it because they work their tails off, and we'll eventually get it out there on the field the way we know we can do it, and give them something to really be proud of.
Well, you took the words out of my mouth. These guys bust their tails here in the week. You, as a Coleman community, come out Friday night. Kickoff is set for 7 o'clock at Oliver Woodard Stadium. Excuse me. If you haven't been to a football game in several years, come out this week. I would love to see Oliver Woodard Stadium packed this week with Bearcat fans who want to cheer and encourage their team. If we can get this place packed this week, get a great atmosphere there, get a win for these guys under their belts, that's going to really boost their confidence as we start getting into region play down the road.
Yeah, and bring your kids. They can come play on the hill with my kid. Yep. He doesn't pay attention to the game either. So, bring everybody you got. Come out and support us. And like I said, we're getting into the meat of the schedule now. Getting into after this game will really be in the region play. So, it's important. It means a lot to these guys. It means the world to them. I don't even think people out there understand.
Coach, I'm going to let you go eat. Final thoughts.
I'm starving.
Before more with Jordan.
I just want to play better. I'm so anxious to get back out there and just kind of show people, who we really are and all this work we've put in and what we work for. And, just keep a good, calm composure about us. If we make mistakes, let's just move on and keep playing and kind of play our style of ball and not let things keep going. So I think we're all anxious as a team, coaches, players, everybody, to get out there and have a little bit of redemption.
I know you're a busy man. I appreciate you taking time on Wednesday evenings yourself to come here and bring your team to Pasquale's Pizza for the Bearcat Den, Coach.
I appreciate you too, man.
Best of luck. We'll see you Friday night.
Thank you.
Coleman head coach Danny Stiff in the Bearcat Den here at Pasquale's Pizza. Once again, special thanks to Tisha Brewer of Tisha Brewer State Farm. She stepped up and provided meals for the players and coaches here tonight at Pasquale's Pizza. Special thanks to all of you who watched us on Facebook and all of you who have been listening here on Coleman's Live 95 and everybody everybody who came out to Pasquale's Pizza. They'll have the buffet going throughout the rest of the evening, so you can come by and get yourself some dinner here at Pasquale's Pizza as we renew the tradition of Coleman High School football here at Pasquale's Pizza in Coleman. Well, until next week when we step back into the Bearcat Den, I'm Tommy Warhurst saying so long from the Bearcat Den here at Pasquale's Pizza. I'll talk to you Friday night over the speaker system there at Oliver Woodard Stadium, Mark Britton Field, as we have Bearcats and Blue Devils Friday night. We'll talk to you then. See you next Wednesday at the Bearcat Den.